course, there's a cable. Oh, another one.
Take a look at what came in.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we got some more work and we got our door hopefully in that's going to be coming in today here in the next couple minutes. And as soon as that comes in, we have one of the new parts that we have ordered. The rest of the parts we're still waiting on, but there is still a lot of stuff that we have to actually prep and take care of before all the other parts come in. That way we're not behind schedule. So with that being said, let's just jump straight into work.
All right, so the first part, I've been actually working on this and I got the form of it. I actually plastic welded this thing first. I got a plastic welding kit right here. And then we're using U-Pulse Fantastic Glaze kitty hair. And I got the shape of here, cut it out with the razor. Got the nice edge over here. And all we gotta do is go ahead and sand this, shape it, and then put a nice little glaze on it, and that's ready for primer. That actually goes, I'll show you guys why that's got damage. Right here, and it looks like it's a little carbon cover piece right here that goes here. As this door closed, it, messed it up. So we're gonna repair this and hopefully get our door in here. That's the first part of any of the parts that are coming in yet. So let's make sure we get everything in and prepped ahead of time. We got our glaze on there, and guess what came in? Our door came in, so I'm gonna open this door over here. And there is our door. They packaged it very nicely. The old Kubota over here, put it in some work. Let's get this thing inside the shop and unwrap it and inspect this door. The door's in, and we got a steal on this door. These doors go for about $7 grand. I've seen some $8, and they don't even come with a handle because these handles are about $600, $700 there. It's got a little scratch on it, surface scratch, and a little tape residue that comes right off. But, I mean, we're gonna have to sand this thing down anyway. So all these little scratches that they circled, that doesn't matter to me because that's all getting sanded down. And everything on this door is straight. The reason we saved $6,000 on this door is because there's only one little damage spot right here on the corner, and all we got to do is just go ahead and just get this welded, bent it back, get that welded, grind it down. I mean, that thing is ready to go. So $6,000 savings, and it's packaged very well. I'm happy with it, and this thing right here saved us a good chunk of money. The other thing that's super cool about this door is they lift us the rod right here that we needed. On my other one, it's bent, and they lift us the airbag sensor that goes on the door. I had to order that one because ours, obviously, the seat airbag was blown. So that's went off. But we have good parts on this door. Just got to remove the window regulator and the tracks and wiring harness, and all that's all there too. So we are lucky on this door. All the parts, moldings, and everything else is all there. Back onto this panel over here. It's all dried up. Now we go ahead and sand this thing smooth and hopefully get this thing ready for primer. And this is the last coat right here. Super smooth. Body lines came out perfect. All filled in, and we are ready to go for some primer. Just like that, it's all primered up, ready to go. So what we're gonna have to go ahead and get taken care of next is actually remove this door panel, since we're gonna have to replace this door anyways, and we're gonna be removing the quarter panel once that comes in and test fitting everything. Let's just go ahead and get this door out of the way, open off the panel so we can get that side mirror that's dangling off there, and see what we're actually missing on our other door, or if we even are missing anything else, because I've got most of the stuff all ordered up. Quarter panel's coming in, rocker panel should be here as well. The door we already got. The fender I just bought from the United Kingdom, so that's coming in from there. And surprisingly, I found a green one that's the same color, so hopefully it's a good match. And yeah, so let's go ahead, get this quarter panel, not quarter panel, I mean this door panel off, and see what's behind this door and the other one. But I'm looking around, we got all the seals. I think it's cut here, so hopefully the other door that we got, the seal's good on it. And you can see we're gonna need a glass for this door, because when this door got hit, there is some glass. That explains why they had the plastic wrap on top of the side to protect the interior. So let's go ahead, work on getting this off, and we'll see what's behind this. So here's our door that we got. As you can see, the seal is there and it runs all the way across this way, so that's gonna save us a lot of money. The wiring harness is all good. All the clips and connectors all look great. Same with the main harness that goes into the door. I believe ours was broken from the impact. So that's all there, and that all saved us a whole lot of money there. And let's go ahead and check my door that's on this car. And you guys can see what we're gonna have to swap over. Pretty straightforward. We're gonna have to go ahead and swap over this little cover, the motor, the speaker. We got the little brain box for the computer. These are all very easy. There's all the wiring harnesses. There's an airbag little sensor that goes on the door, and that's what causes this to deploy. So basically when you get an impact, it absorbs the shock on the door, and it lets the computer know to blow this airbag. That's why the rest of the airbags on this car is not blown, just that one. And no biggie, that's 500 bucks for that airbag. We'll have that seat reupholstered, and this is pretty much a straightforward swap. So it ain't that bad as I expected, and that seal is there, so that's gonna save us some more money, and we've got all the parts. So I want to go ahead and remove this door, and the door is pretty simple. It's held on these hinges, and all we're gonna do is go ahead and jack them up since the door's a little bent, and get those to pop out of their hinges. So let's go ahead, take this door off, swap over the hinges, and then line up the other door. Alrighty, so the door is off, and man, we are so good. This inner structure right here, that's the biggest thing. And on most cars, that is the hardest thing to pull on a frame machine, but it's also the most strongest part. Like, you can pull front end stuff and stuff, or the rails side to side, no problem. But the side ones are a huge pain, and they are the most toughest because it's supposed to protect the passenger. But we are safe to say that everything looks good as expected. The seam sealer is good. We got all our hinges are still good. The only thing that was a little bent up on was just the door being bent up on the corner. But this door is pretty strong, I guess, with all the stuff in there. And it was pretty heavy compared to the other door. But everything else on this thing, all the structural and all the pieces and stuff is all good to go. I even popped this stuff back to look behind it. And everything behind here looks awesome. There's no issues at all. Even popped up the back cover to see if there's any like damage back here, or also on the floorboards or anything else like that down here. But everything looks awesome and there's no damage whatsoever. So I want to go ahead and actually put the other door on there and kind of see where it lines up, even though the quarter panel's still on there, but at least it's on there. So let's go ahead and get that door onto here. So we got this door over here, and upon trying to put the hinges on and everything else, I noticed that this one threads in perfectly, but the other side does not. And the reason being is because if you look inside, you can see a little nut thing kind of thing inside, and this side does not. So from the speaker hole cover, you can see it goes right there. So if we go over to your old donor door, which our old door, you can see I cut this open. I don't want to take apart the speaker system, regulators and all that just to get to it, because we're quite not there yet. I don't want to install any of that stuff till that door is ready to do so, because that way we can put all the nuts and bolts exactly where they need to go and be an OEM finish. So what I've done is just cut this open. There it is right there. That's a little piece. We're going to take this, transfer it over, and we should be able to mount those hinges. There you have it. The door is all on there, and take a look at this. None of our latch assembly or anything else like that's in here, but when this closes down, we haven't done any adjustments. The gaps are perfect, even though this quarter panel took a hit, so the bottom gaps are not. But you got to remember, this got pushed in and everything lines up. As far as the gap up here, lines up with this perfectly, so the fender sits up on here and it's going to be perfect. So I'm really happy with the fitment. Once again, gaps are looking nice up here, just the bottom side, but of course this is pushed in. But if we pull this out a little bit, You can see how when the door is being closed, the gap's great, but it's also pushed in this way. So it's stretched out the middle. Now, we won't do any alignment or test fitting till we get the quarter panel on there, but I'm so happy to say that the door was in there and it lines up perfectly.
All right, so there's been one thing that's been bothering me about this car, and the fact is the interior is super dirty. Now, normally when we get cars from the auction, we clean the interior in last, but on a car like this, I really don't want the interior to be dirty, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a good wipe down, clean it up, and then we'll do it again maybe if it gets dusty and everything else from the body work and installing everything, but I just don't wanna get in and out of this thing and then put the stains into the seat, especially on a really sick interior like this car. So let me show you guys the before, and then you guys will see the after. Alrighty guys, so we got the interior all cleaned up and I want to show you guys the after product because before this thing was very dirty. So if we come actually back here, you guys can take a look at the after product. I tucked in the seat airbag back in there. We're just going to stitch it up and no one will ever know that the airbag was deployed. I'm just joking with you guys. We're going to take this and actually repair this airbag by replacing it. And then there's also what we have to do is take this to a upholstery shop so they can restitch this interior on this side. But there's also some stuff we have to do on the driver's side. So let's get over on the driver's side because there were some stains that would not come out. All right, and as far as the driver's seat goes, if you look over here, the stains for whatever reason did not come out. And we try to be very cautious and selective about what we used so that way we don't damage the leather and not be anything too abrasive and all that. But I don't know, nothing got it off. So if you guys have any suggestions, drop it down in the comments because I'd like to know what works. This is leather and I don't want to damage the leather by using anything too harsh. But we did call our guy that we got a referral from a friend of ours, and it's going to be a guy that's going to be helping us out with that quarter panel. And he's the same guy who's going to do all the interior for us as far as restitching the other side. He said that if nothing brings that out, the stains and all that, bring it over to him and he can re-dye the whole thing. And he can also try some stuff that he has. So once we get that seat airbag in, we'll go ahead and put it in there and then we'll take both these seats and drop it off to him. So the next thing we're actually going to have to do is remove this rear bumper cover and the tail lights and all these vents and everything else just to get that quarter panel off because our new quarter's coming in here shortly and we want to make sure this is off so we can actually go ahead and slap that on there. And guess who's coming back to help us out on this build?
Oh yeah.
Free of charge?
Free of charge, of course.
Dang. Well, sounds good. Let's go ahead and get this thing. You ready?
It shouldn't be too bad, I don't think.
It's pretty simple, isn't it?
Yeah.
Easier than a Toyota Camry.
More than less likely, yeah. And it's got the Audi quirks, but once you figure them out, you're good to go.
I think it's going to be as easy as a Honda Civic.
More than less likely, yeah.
Let's do it.
There's a spider crawling on my leg, dang.
Oh, man.
This ain't terrible. It's not very comfy. So the next step we're thinking about is we don't want to damage, when we take this quarter panel off, obviously, you know, you're gonna have like one more bolt left on there, you kind of wiggle it around, it might you know, do something crazy. So you want to get some tape in these sections over here so we don't scratch the glass, scratch the upper quarter, because why paint if we don't gotta?
That's
we'll probably
right.
have to blend on it, but
I don't think we're gonna have to blend the rear bumper or the trunk panel or the top part, because as you can see, this quarter panel is damaged here. Now the quarter panel that we bought, these quarter panels go for about $6,000–7,000. The quarter panel that we bought, we got for a deal for $890. And I've seen some people actually sell them on eBay for parts when they just cut out the piece that they needed, and then they sell the other half still for like $1,000 or $2,000. So that's what we did. We actually bought a quarter panel that damaged from up here, which our whole top part is all good up here. And when it comes in, you guys will see. So what we're gonna do, we got our welding buddy coming over who actually helped us on the AMG GT, and we're gonna splice it and put it back together, and that saves the whole blend from this side. And all we gotta do is the side skirt door and the fender. That's it.
shouldn't be bad at all, honestly.
Actually makes the process a lot easier. It might look like more work, but it's actually less work.
Especially when you got a good welder, can't go wrong.
So this little vent thing right here is probably the most toughest part. We've got it pretty much loosened out. I mean, oh wow, that's really loose. Are you still working on it?
I'm gonna just get the rest of this bracket out.
You got George in here.
Oh yeah.
Laying inside the engine bay.
Feels great up here.
Just to get to the three, what is there, 3 bolts up there?
That's the 4th one. That's technically the 5th one up here, yeah.
Jeez.
Try pulling on that vent a little bit.
Let's see, it should come out, yeah? Oh, it's definitely looser. This thing was stiff, like it would not move at all. Did you take them all out?
I hope so. I'm excited to get out of here.
Well, you get out of here and then I put this camera down and see if I can pop it. It probably has to get popped, but I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
But look, I can see you from the gas tank hole. Stick your head down a little bit more.
What's going on?
Ah, I got a glimpse. Got it. Woo, that was a nightmare. Got that one out, and then we got one more in there. There's another vent. There we go. Woo. That's it. We got both of them out. And you can actually see some of the bolts behind that hold the quarter. I think there's one hidden one down there behind there.
That ain't too bad.
That's it. We got a couple more bolts, but this was apparently the hardest part. So if this is the hardest part, that means I think the rest of it should be super simple.
Should be cake after this.
Let's get to it. It's 8:21 p.m. and you got here around 6-ish.
Yeah.
So for a total of 2 hours to actually do all this,
Pretty crazy.
and I mean we have to go look and waste time looking for tape and all that stuff. But I think the next one, if we do it, we could probably knock it out in an hour and a half, maybe an hour.
I'd say so. Now that we know where all the bolts are, it's pretty simple, honestly.
Yeah, but 2 hours to do this is not bad.
Yeah.
I wonder what the book time is.
I mean, that's removing the bumper, the tail light, all that other stuff.
All the parts up there, the little centerpiece, the parking sensors, harness, exhaust tips, I mean, all that stuff. But yeah, it doesn't seem too bad at all. 2 hours is not bad. Dang, we got it off.
Wasn't that bad, honestly.
It wasn't. That's like a whole exoskeleton kind of thing, yeah?
It looks really cool, don't you think?
Oh yeah, I mean all this is all good behind here. Like I said, our carbon tub. There was so much space between the quarter. Like the quarter sat all the way up to here, and like you could actually see all these bars, the frame rails, and everything else is all good. And you work at a legit body shop, like not like my body shop where I'm not. Well, I guess I am a shop, but I'm not like a
sort of shop, you know?
Yeah, but you work at a legit collision center. So, would you say this car should have been totaled?
Nah, this was actually way easier. I've seen way worse cars than this getting repaired at a body shop than something like this. This is super easy.
I think the adjuster just probably saw Lamborghini and was like, oh man, this should get totaled.
You got to think they got a price with OEM parts. They're probably not going to find used on a car like this, so they're just pricing out $10,000 for this, $30,000 for that. So they
That's
probably
true.
totaled it out.
That's true. But man, look at that. You can get a steal because there's a lot of stuff sometimes that slips through the adjusters.
Oh yeah.
And you get a deal if you know how to work on them. And this is not bad. This is literally going to be a bolt-on, bolt-off process. Take a look at this, and this is what I'm talking about. Like all these brackets and everything, this bar that goes across the top here, the factory welds and the sealers and all that, nothing's chipped up, indicating anything shifted. And like even with the quarter panel that was on there, our gaps were still like in the bolt holes that they should have been. So there's no way that anything shifted back here, and all the gaps with the quarter to the trunk was still good on the bumper. So this should just be a very simple lift off, put back on. And there's the quarter sitting over there. We got all these parts off over here. So now we just wait for the quarter. But this actually makes it a whole lot easier. Guess what, George?
What's that?
When we go to replace the suspension that got damaged, we got all this room. And the only thing that got damaged was that right there.
It's gonna be a piece of cake.
That was like a
getting that out.
$150 part, and that was it.
Dude, I didn't know it was a 4-wheel steer vehicle. So when you said that was bad, I'm like, I don't know, man. Probably got upper lower control arm damage, but just a tie rod.
The fact that it's a 4-wheel steer makes that so much of a better damage.
Yeah.
I'd take that any day over anything else being
Oh yeah,
bent.
that's an easy fix.
Take a look at what came in. Our rocker panel came in, and everything on this thing lines up perfectly. All the bolt holes are in the exact spot. I've only got one little bolt holding it in right now, but all of it lines up. Once again, showing our theories correct, that everything on this thing's straight. Nothing's bent. Our door lines up, our rocker panel lines up, and we just gotta throw our quarter panel on and our fender, and it's all bolt-on cosmetic parts. So very lucky with that. Another thing we gotta take care of is this front shock assembly. On this front shock of mine, as you can see, it's bent and damaged. What I'm trying to do is get the strut off of that and swap it over with our new one that just came in. And this is the parts one that I ordered off a fire damaged Huracan, thanks to Corsa Exotics. And everything on the shock is good. It just has some little melted parts on it from, the little plastic stuff melting, but that cleans right off. I can actually flick it off with my fingernails. And everything else on this thing is good. Nothing's bent on it. And all we need is this shock down there. Audi logos. Who would have guessed? But we got to get this top hat off. And we got to somehow hold that down without having a special tool. So that's going to be a challenge. Or we can get a C-clip off the bottom, which you can kind of see a ring around there. So can't do that by myself. I'm going to take it down to my buddy's shop. Hopefully he can give me a hand with that one, because it's hard to hold that thing down and try to twist at the same time and hold the clamp at the same time as well. I don't have 3 hands. But let's go ahead and try to knock this one out and then take these two over to my friend's shop. There you have it. We took it all off. Really simple. One nut there, another nut on the bottom, a little air hose that goes in there that mine was ripped off as well. So we're gonna have to repair that when we put it back together. But as you can see, take a look at the carnage here. Just snapped it off the bottom. If this was still in here and it wasn't snapped, it would be pretty straight. Therefore, I know my shocks are still good. The bottom and the top hat is still good. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that bottom half plus the strut. And we'll still have a spring and a top hat for the front lift if we ever need it. So good thing to have on hand, because rebuilding these shocks are pretty expensive. And if you don't have the parts, you can't do it. So here's the inside of the shock right here of the top hat. And this is the front lift on the Lamborghini system. So you got a spring in here. And then you got this right here, that's the seal. So that goes into there. And that's all held in with, I guess that C-clamp right over there. And that's it. Fully serviceable. No need to spend almost $3 on a used one or $6 on a new one. All right, so the front suspension is all in there. Everything's all bolted in. We got a new dust boot coming in for it, so that's gonna go ahead and get replaced. And all it has is just basically a little clamp that goes around it, and that is it. So now we got the other parts in that just came in. We have some Royal Mail that came in from the UK. Got this right here. That was for our rear wheel steer, which goes right back over here. And that right there, we're gonna go ahead and replace, and hopefully this is gonna go ahead and straighten out this suspension. So let's go ahead, take this off, and get this suspension knocked out as well. There you have it, guys. That was it. That was the only issue. 2 bolts there, 1 on the back. And take a look at that. Our suspension already is straight. And look at this. This has rear wheel steer. So like because of that 1 bar, this can move any way like this. Let me just push it in a little bit. So it could be cambered in, well, towed in, I mean. It could be towed out by being that way. But right now it's going back to exactly where it wants to naturally, and it wants to be straight, just like that. So I think we're good. Let's go ahead and get the new one on there and swap it out. Well, we got one problem, guys. The nut on this thing, I thought we took it out. I didn't really pay much attention to it, but this was sitting like this against there. So there's the 2 holes that's down there. This goes here, and this connects to the bottom of this. Well, the nut, when we used the impact on it, just broke off. So I had to get a new nut for this. But the thing that sucks is it kind of threaded itself into the old one. So that's probably why it snapped, because it was bent at an angle. But I need to figure out a way to get this old nut out of here. So hopefully we can get that out without having to remove this whole knuckle assembly and all that. That 1 bolt just has to make more work. I wonder if something like this would work. I mean, it's got enough thread to get to it. Let me get it all the way in there. Oh, it is spinning. Oh yeah, I think we're good. Nope, it's too tight. Man, that just saved a lot of time. I was gonna take this knuckle off or try to weld a nut to it and get this thing off. Thank God that this thing is spinning. Let's see if that's loose enough. Oh yeah, a little bit. Oh yeah, that's spinning. That's good. Keeps catching though, so definitely got to get a new bolt for it. But I am just so happy that this thing is coming out and we don't have to drill it out or weld a nut on there or nothing of that stuff. So I'm gonna work on this to get it out. And I'll catch you guys when we put the other one back in. There you have it. There's the nut out, all the way out. Boom. Threads are still good in there. So we're going to have to go ahead and order a new nut because this thing snapped right in half. Shouldn't be too much. We'll get this straight from Lamborghini. For now, we can go ahead and put the 2 bolts in there to hold it in. That way when it comes in, I can just go ahead and snap the nut in there and be done with this thing. Thing we got to handle on this car is the radiator. So I found a used radiator that's got only about 8,000 miles on it, and we're gonna take off our old one. But I was just so surprised it wasn't leaking. None of the tabs are broken. So pretty simple. Couple bolts here, couple bolts in the bottom. Go ahead and get this thing replaced. There you have it. New radiator's in. All the hoses are in there. Brackets are in there, lined up all perfectly. Got the bottom one in there. And like I said, it still had fluid, so it leaked out a little bit. But everything on this is good. Nice and stiff. Ain't going anywhere. Obviously ripped up my gloves. But yeah, Boom. My upper control arm that I ordered is all in. Same exact thing. And looks like it matches this one over here. We got 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on this side, and we got 1 nut on this side, which I've already hammered to get it loose. So this is ready to go. Let's go ahead and pull this off, swap it out with the new one. Upper control arm is all installed. Everything's back put together. Take a look at that. Here's the broken one right over here. As you can see, it just snapped off the edge of this. But yeah, everything else was good on the suspension side. This is the only damage up front. Easy fix. So the next thing we gotta take care of is this radiator. The condenser is still good up front, but this radiator was bad. As you can see, there's some fluid down here, and that's because when that tab broke off, that's the only reason. It kind of cracked the radiator at the same time, so it's spewing out of the corner. The top one's also cracked, but that one's good. So we got our new one over here. Everything on this one's good. We got one off of eBay, came out of London actually. And so we're gonna go ahead and swap this over with the other one and see how it goes. Gotta love working on Lamborghinis. They made it super simple for us. As you can see, there's 2 hoses behind the radiator on this side, but it's very tight to get in there. And also 1 hose on this side. But it never fails to amaze me how easy it is working on this car. There's 2 hoses right here that go to the same exact hoses that connect there. So we have all the room in the world to actually work here. Loosen the hoses from here and slide out the radiator. And also there was one right here that I already got out, and there's a lot of room to get to that C-clamp right below this bar right there. Just like that, radiators are installed. I didn't want to bore you guys with how it goes back in because you guys saw how it comes out. Pretty self-explanatory. Got everything transferred over from this one, and we got the new one in there. All the brackets line up, condenser, got the hose that goes down here all connected back up. Everything is good, and we'd even have to remove this line right here that goes over here to, I'm guessing, the Freon, which, yeah, it looks like AC lines that go to that. So that's all good. Coming over here, got all this plumbed up. The fan is all good still. We are ready to roll. Take a look at what just came in. I test fitted the first one on there, and we got these headlights for a steal, guys. But with that comes a cost, and 2 of these tabs are broken, so we're gonna have to go ahead and replicate how these tabs are fixed. And as you guys can see, I got a piece of paper over here, and I put it over this tab that's broken right here, and I put it over this, traced it out. I haven't made the center for the hole yet, but you get the gist of it. And then I got this and found some plastic, made this for this, put 1 screw in there just to hold it. We got about a 1/4 inch gap there. Same thing over here, but we can't test fit these or weld these up yet till the fenders here, so we're gonna go ahead and wait on this, but at least we got the template made out. And same thing with that upper tab right there, just broken. The casing's good, but you kind of get the gist of how it's supposed to be made. So we'll do the same thing on that one, trace a template, and then find us some good plastic that's thick and some welding material when the time comes with the fender gets here. Alrighty, there we go. We got our tabs mounted. There's the back one as well, all mounted on there. We used a heat gun to bend it down to form just like it does from the factory. So now we gotta have to go ahead and make our holes in them. As you can see, there's little center holes that go in there, but we're gonna leave that once we get the fender in there. That way we can line this thing up perfectly with that. And then we're gonna plastic weld this later, probably off camera, but you guys get the gist of it. It's pretty simple. If you just use some paper and trace it out, save yourself a couple thousand, because these lights were about, the cheapest I found were about $5,000 to $6,000, and a lot of them had a lot of cracks in them or the lenses were no good. So we actually got these two for $3,000, and the only problem was 2 of the tabs were broken on that one, which we just repaired and got it replicated exactly. So a little bit more work on that one, and boom. Alrighty, take a look at this. We got this tab repaired, pretty strong. Moving it back and forth, not cracking at all. That one, got it shaped over to its side, so we're gonna plastic weld that one, then grind it down smooth, and then cut out our hole. But everything looks good on this headlight, so all the 3 tabs are gonna be great on this thing. And take a look at that one. It'll be just like that once it's done, but we can't cut that hole out yet because we wanna make sure we get the fender so we can line up the light. But for now, let's go ahead and fix the other one, and I'm just gonna fast forward this so you guys can see. So there's our piece that we cut out. After all the tools are out here, the grinder, the sander to smooth it all out after you plastic weld it, take a look at this finished product. The tab up there is all repaired, all good to go, shaped up. Same with the side one over there up front. We are ready to go, and the only thing I gotta do, like I said, is just drill out the holes, but I don't have a fender on that side yet. So I'm gonna be waiting on that fender so I can get this thing in the perfect section, but I'm super happy with it, super strong. Got all the tabs repaired, and the hole I'm talking about looks kind of like this one right over here. So very happy with how this turned out, and it saved us a great chunk of money, because imagine each headlight, and this isn't used prices that I found, was $5 grand a piece. So you're talking about 10 grand just between the 2 headlights, and we got both of these for $3 because of the 2 tabs that were broken on that one.
Well guys, unfortunately that's all the time we have left for today's video. I really hope you guys are enjoying how the Lamborghini build is coming together. On the next video, make sure you're subscribed so you can see it when it pops up. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. But we're going to take this thing over to my buddy's shop who's a metal fabricator. And he's going to go ahead and actually help us get this rear quarter panel all mocked up together so we can line everything up. And hopefully we have a key in the next video because we're still waiting on that key. But if you guys have any suggestions, drop it down in the comments below. If you guys like the video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. And also, as for always guys, make sure you subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.